Close your eyes. Just let everything go quiet. The world outside is cold tonight, colder than you can easily imagine. Somewhere beyond these walls, the temperature has fallen so far below freezing that the very air itself has turned hard and crystalline, sharp as glass, silent as a held breath. But you are not out there. You are here, inside, wrapped in something warm, held by something soft and heavy and safe. Tonight, we are going to travel together, slowly, gently, through one of the most breathtaking and remote wildernesses on this earth, the Great Siberian Taiga, aboard a train that carries you through the year 1910, through a night that never seems to end, through snowfall so deep and so wide that the whole world has gone white and still. You do not need to do anything at all. Simply breathe, simply rest, simply let yourself be carried. The train is already moving, and you are already warm. Imagine yourself settled into the berth. Not just sitting, truly settled, as though the seat itself was shaped specifically for you, the velvet cushion conforming beneath you, the backrest holding you at exactly the right angle, your body releasing its weight downward, fully without resistance. There is a blanket across your lap. It is heavy, wonderfully, luxuriously heavy, thick wool. The deep color of midnight forest, woven so densely that it holds the warmth against your skin like a second layer of the world itself. You pull it a little higher, up past your waist, up to the curve of your chest. There, that is better. On the small teak table beside you sits a glass of tea. The glass is slender, seated in a silver filigree holder, the kind they have always used on Russian trains, the kind that fits perfectly in one hand. The tea is dark and amber, steaming gently, fragrant with something you can almost name. Cardamom, perhaps, black pepper, a single dried clove resting at the bottom of the glass, long dissolved into warmth. You wrap both hands around the glass. You feel the heat move through your palms, up through your wrists, spreading slowly into your arms. The steam rises past your face in a thin, curling thread. Outside the window, the world has disappeared. That is the only word for it. Disappeared. The Siberian Taiga, that ancient, unfathomable forest that stretches for thousands upon thousands of kilometers in every direction, has been swallowed completely by the night and the snow. There are trees out there, you know it. Massive, dark-spired pines and larches standing in their millions, rooted deep beneath the frozen earth, silent and immovable as cathedral columns. But you cannot see them now. The blizzard has taken them. What you can see is the frost. It has been growing across the inside corner of your window for the last hour, slowly, beautifully, like something alive. It begins at the edges of the glass, delicate white crystals spreading inward in perfect, intricate patterns that no human hand could ever replicate. Ferns made of ice, stars with 100 arms, the quiet, unhurried art of freezing air pressing against warm glass. You lean forward, just slightly, and breathe against the window. A small circle of clarity appears in the frost, a porthole no larger than your fist, and through it, for just a moment, you can see the white blur of snow racing past in the darkness. Then the frost moves back in, slowly reclaiming the glass, and your small window into the wilderness closes again. The temperature outside, on this particular January night in 1910, is somewhere around 40 degrees below zero. "40 degrees below zero. That is not a number the human body truly understands. It is not cold the way a winter morning is cold. It is cold the way the deep ocean floor is dark, so complete, so total, that it exists in a category all its own. At 40 below, exposed skin becomes frostbitten in under 2 minutes. At 40 below, the moisture in your breath turns to ice crystals before it has even left your lips. At 40 below, silence itself seems to freeze. the air so still and heavy that even sound cannot travel far. And yet, here you are, on the other side of a double-paned window and 4 inches of oak paneling and a glowing coal heater that has been burning steadily since Irkutsk. You are perfectly warm inside, impossibly, wonderfully, deeply warm. The cold outside is real and enormous and absolute, and it cannot reach you. You take a slow sip of your tea. The train sways very gently from side to side. A long, slow rocking, almost like being held, almost like being slowly, rhythmically rocked, and the single brass lamp above you sways with it, tracing a lazy arc across the dark paneled ceiling, casting the warm amber light in a gentle sweep from left to right, right to left, left to right, right to left. The carriage around you is a world unto itself tonight. The walls are dark polished wood, deep walnut, inlaid with thin decorative borders of lighter birch. The overhead rack above the berth opposite holds a leather traveling case, its brass buckles glinting in the lamplight. A coat hangs from the hook near the door, a long wool overcoat, nearly black, still faintly dusted with snow at the shoulders from when you boarded hours ago in some small, forgotten station whose name you have already lost to sleep. You have been traveling for 4 days, or perhaps 5. Time on the Trans-Siberian Railway does something strange. It softens. It stretches. The hours no longer feel like hours in the way they do in ordinary life, each one distinct, urgent, measurable. Here, they blend together like colors in warm water. Morning and evening arrive and depart like gentle tides. Day and night feel less like opposites and more like variations on a theme. Both quiet, both long, both somehow restful. The snow continues to fall. Out there in the absolute darkness of the Siberian night, in that frozen wilderness that stretches farther than most human minds can comfortably hold, snowflakes are falling by the billions. Soft, six-sided, each one impossibly intricate, impossibly brief. They fall on the frozen rivers. They fall on the backs of sleeping elk standing still as monuments beneath the black pines. They fall on abandoned trappers' huts and on the rails behind you, slowly filling in the tracks you have already traveled, as though the world is quietly, gently erasing your passage through it. And none of it can touch you. You are here, in the amber light, in the heavy wool, with warm hands wrapped around warm glass. As the snow continues to fall, and the train continues to carry you, and the heater continues to breathe its soft and steady warmth into this small, perfect world you inhabit. Let your eyes grow heavy now. There is nowhere you need to be, nothing you need to do. The train knows the way, the tracks are laid. The night is long and deep and full of snow, and you are perfectly warm inside. Simply rest, simply breathe, simply let the train carry you forward, into the white. There is a story this railway carries with it. Not written down anywhere you could easily find. Not spoken aloud in the dining car over plates of black bread and butter, but present, nonetheless woven into the rails themselves, into the dark polished wood of these carriage walls, into the very cold of the air outside pressing against your window. It is the story of what once traveled these same tracks, through these same winter nights, across the same vast and frozen empire. Let yourself sink a little deeper into the velvet seat. Pull the wool blanket just a little higher. The story is a gentle one, old and amber-colored and very, very far away. In the year 1716, the King of Prussia sent a gift to the Tsar of all Russia. It was not a small gift. It was not the kind of gift one wraps in paper and ribbon and carries under one arm. It was a room, an entire room, its walls paneled floor to ceiling in pure Baltic amber, that ancient golden resin that formed in the forests of the world tens of millions of years ago, when the trees that produced it no longer exist anywhere on this earth. amber is not quite stone and not quite wood. It is something older than both fossilized light, some have called it. Hardened sunlight, pressed into panels and carved into ornaments and fitted together by the most skilled craftsmen of the age over the course of more than a decade. The amber room measured over 50 square meters. 6 tons of amber in total, decorated with gold leaf and mirrors and precious stones. When all the candles in the room were lit simultaneously, the walls seemed to breathe. They seemed to glow from within, as though the ancient trees themselves were still remembering the sunlight they had once converted into warmth. The Tsar was enchanted. Peter the Great received the gift and had the amber room installed first in his winter palace in St. Petersburg. Later, his daughter, the Empress Elizabeth, had it moved to the Catherine Palace at Tsarskoye Selo, the village of the Tsars, just south of the capital. There it was expanded, refined, perfected. There it remained for 2 centuries, through the reigns of empresses and emperors, through the long glittering winters of the Russian court, through revolution and upheaval, a chamber of impossible warmth sitting at the cold heart of the empire. And on nights like this one cold, black, blizzard-wrapped nights when the snow fell so thickly over St. Petersburg that the lamplighters could barely find their way from post to post, the amber still glowed, behind walls 6 meters high, behind windows fogged with the breath of courtiers and ladies-in-waiting and small sleepy dogs curled on silk cushions near the stoves. You can almost see it if you let yourself. Close your eyes just a little more. Imagine the amber light, not the cold blue light of a winter moon, not the hard white light of snow reflecting starlight, but something warmer, something honey-thick and ancient. A golden light that turns every face in the room into something softer, every shadow into something gentler. Now imagine that light moving. Packed into crates, padded with straw and linen, loaded under the cover of a polar night onto a train not so very different from this one long and dark and breathing steam into the freezing air of a Russian winter, and carried eastward, away from the city, away from the approaching chaos of a world remaking itself in fire and fury, moved, quietly, secretly, through the snow. This is what happened to the Amber Room in the winter of 1941. when German forces swept toward Leningrad and the curators of the Catherine Palace made the agonizing decision to move what could be moved and hide what could not. The amber panels, brittle after 2 centuries, impossible to safely disassemble in time, were covered with paper and gauze and left behind. And then they were taken, crated and shipped westward to the Prussian city of Königsberg, where they were reassembled one final time in the Castle Museum. And then they vanished. In the chaos of the war's final weeks, as Königsberg burned and the world cracked apart at its seams, the Amber Room disappeared from all known record. Some say it burned with the castle. Some say it was moved again deeper underground into bunkers that have never been found. Some say it rests at the bottom of a frozen Baltic Sea, in the hull of a ship that never reached wherever it was going. No one knows. And there is something quietly, unexpectedly peaceful about that. Something that suits this particular kind of night. A treasure so beautiful that 6 tons of ancient sunlight were pressed and carved and fitted together to contain it. And now it rests somewhere unknown, somewhere cold, somewhere undisturbed. Sleeping, perhaps, the way all beautiful things sleep eventually. Deeply, without dreaming. Perhaps the amber is still glowing, somewhere in the dark. Still warm inside, the way you are warm inside. Still holding that ancient, fossilized light in its golden walls, while the snow falls softly over whatever ground conceals it. You look out through the small clear space at the center of your frosted window. The darkness outside is total. The taiga has swallowed everything. But somewhere out there, beneath this same sky, beneath these same falling snowflakes, the earth holds its secrets with absolute patience. The roots of ancient trees press down through frozen soil. Rivers sleep beneath their ice. And whatever the world has lost, whatever beautiful, luminous, impossible thing has disappeared into the cold keeps it safely, perfectly, without judgment and without end. You take the last sip of your tea. It has cooled just enough that you can drink it all in one long, slow swallow. The warmth traces its way down through the center of your chest like a thread of amber light. As the snow continues to fall, and the train carries you deeper into the night, You feel the weight of the wool blanket like a kind hand on your shoulders. Safe from the cold, warm inside, carried forward through the dark. The train is slowing. Only slightly, imperceptibly almost, but you feel it in the way the sway of the carriage changes, a gentle lengthening of each rocking motion, a softening of the rhythm beneath you. The wheels still turn. The rails still sing their low, metallic lullaby beneath the floor. But something in the landscape outside has shifted, and the train seems to sense it. You press your fingertip against the frosted glass. Slowly, the frost melts away from that single point of contact, and through the small circle of clarity you have made, you glimpse something immense. Something that makes the Taiga, with all its thousands of kilometers of dark trees and frozen rivers and unbroken wilderness, seem somehow contained by comparison. Water, frozen solid, stretching in every direction until it disappears into the blizzard and the night. Lake Baikal. The oldest lake on Earth, the deepest, a body of freshwater so vast that it holds 1/5 of all the liquid freshwater on the entire surface of this planet, more than all the Great Lakes of North America combined, pressed into a single ancient basin carved by the Earth itself over 25 million years. In summer, it is blue beyond description. A blue so clear and so deep that you can see down 30 meters through the water as though looking through air. In winter, it becomes this, a frozen continent, a white silence so absolute that travelers crossing it on foot have reported hearing their own heartbeats in the stillness. Tonight it is invisible to you, hidden by the blizzard and the darkness. But you know it is there. You feel it, the way the cold outside seems to deepen at this particular latitude. The way the wind carries a new quality, wider and more open, as though it has been running for hundreds of kilometers across that frozen surface with nothing to slow it down. And somewhere out there, on the southwestern shore of that frozen lake, there is a light. Very small, very far away. You cannot see it through the blizzard, but it is there, nonetheless. It has been there every night for 11 years. A lighthouse lamp, burning behind glass, attended by a single man who has made this frozen shore his entire world. His name is Nikolai. He came to Lake Baikal in the winter of 1899, assigned by the Imperial Russian Geographical Society to maintain the small lighthouse at Lisvyanka, a station established to guide the ice ferries and supply boats that crossed the lake when the water was open, and to mark the shore for those brave or foolish enough to attempt the ice crossing on foot or by horse-drawn sledge in winter. He intended to stay for 1 year, perhaps 2. He had a wife in Irkutsk, a city of reasonable size and reasonable comfort, a 3-day journey away when the roads were passable. He had plans, the way young men always have plans, vague, warm, comfortable plans that exist somewhere in an imagined future just far enough away to never quite arrive. But the lake kept him. There is no other way to explain it. The lake kept him. People who know Baikal say it does that. It reaches into a person with something that is not quite loneliness and not quite belonging, but something in between, something unnamed, and it holds them. The way amber holds an insect, gently, completely, without malice. Every night at precisely 11 o'clock, Nikolai puts on his coat. It is a long coat, military cut, lined with sheepskin, issued to him in his first winter and repaired by his own hands so many times now that more of it is his stitching than the original. He puts on his fur-lined boots. He wraps a scarf dark wool, hand-knitted, sent by his wife in a package that took 6 weeks to arrive, around his neck and over the lower half of his face until only his eyes are uncovered. He opens the door. cold hits him like a wall, not a cruel wall, simply a fact enormous and indifferent and absolute. The blizzard is blowing off the lake tonight, driving snow horizontally across the small clearing in front of the lighthouse, filling in his boot prints from this morning before he has even taken 3 steps. He walks to the lamp room, 12 steps from the door. He knows the number without counting. He has walked those 12 steps in darkness, in whiteout, in ice fog so thick he could not see his own outstretched hand, and he has never missed them. His body knows the way water knows downhill. He checks the oil. He trims the wick. He polishes the lens, a single slow, circular motion with a cloth so soft from use it has become almost translucent. And then he steps back and looks at the light. It is not a large light. It was never designed to pierce a Siberian blizzard or to reach the far shore of a lake 30 kilometers wide. It is simply a light, a small, warm, persistent flame burning behind curved glass, sending its amber signal out into the dark and the cold and the snow. But Nikolai believes in it completely. Not because it will save every ship, not because every traveler crossing the ice will see it and be guided safely home. He believes in it the way you believe in small, warm things on very cold nights. The way you believe in the cup of tea that has already cooled, in the blanket that is perhaps not quite thick enough, in the lamp swaying above your berth casting its amber circle across the dark ceiling. You believe in them not because they are powerful enough to push back all the cold in the world, but because they are here, because they are warm, because they are yours. Nikolai stands in the lamp room for 11 minutes. He always stands for exactly 11 minutes, one for each year he has kept this light. Then he buttons his coat again, opens the door back into the blizzard, walks his 12 steps home, and closes the world outside. Inside, he hangs his coat. He fills a small tin cup with water from the kettle that has been sitting on the iron stove since afternoon. He wraps both hands around the cup, the way you are wrapping your hands around warmth right now, and he sits beside his stove and listens to the lake. The ice groans and shifts in the dark. The blizzard moves across the surface of the water like a living thing, like a vast and restless animal settling itself for sleep. And Nikolai listens, and the lamp burns behind him in the lighthouse, and the cold does what the cold always does on Lake Baikal in January. Continues, patient and immense and entirely without urgency. And Nikolai is perfectly warm inside. Safe from the cold, held by the warmth, just like you. The blizzard is changing. You notice it first not through your eyes, but through some quieter sense. The way the pressure against the window glass seems to ease. The way the howling that has been running beneath every sound of this journey like a low, continuous note slowly begins to lose its urgency. The wind is still there. The snow is still falling, but something in the storm has decided at last to let go. Outside, the blizzard is becoming something else entirely. It is becoming a snowfall. There is a difference, a profound and beautiful difference, between a blizzard and a snowfall. A blizzard is the storm asserting itself, driving and howling and remaking the world by force. But a snowfall is the world simply receiving, simply accepting, flake by flake by flake, each one arriving without urgency, without drama, drifting down through cold, still air to rest on whatever surface waits below. The taiga is receiving it now. Out there in the darkness, on the broad, flat branches of 10,000 pine trees, the snow is accumulating in soft, perfect layers, each branch bowing slightly under its white weight, then releasing a small cascade of powder when the load grows too heavy, a tiny whispered avalanche that no one will ever witness. The frozen rivers beneath their ice are receiving it. The abandoned trappers' paths between the trees are receiving it, filling in slowly, disappearing, returning to wilderness. The backs of sleeping animals are receiving it, The elk and the sable and the Siberian deer standing still as carved wood in the darkness between the pines. Everything is being covered. Everything is being made quiet and clean and new. And the train moves through it all. Your train, this long, dark, breathing train with its coal heaters and its brass lamps and its velvet berths and its passengers asleep behind every closed door in every car behind you. Moving through the white Siberian night at a pace that has slowed so gradually you can no longer be sure whether the train itself has slowed, or whether time has simply decided to stretch itself out the way it always does in the deepest hours before dawn. It does not matter. Both feel exactly the same from where you are sitting. You have set down your tea glass. You are not sure when. It simply happened the way all the right things happen when you stop trying to make them happen and simply allow the night to carry you. The glass sits empty on the teak table, its silver holder glinting once, twice in the swaying lamplight, and you have no desire to fill it again. You are warm enough. You are comfortable enough. You are, in this moment, precisely and completely enough. The wool blanket has found its way up to your chin. You are not entirely sure when that happened either. But there it is, that heavy, wonderful weight pressing gently against your collarbones, holding the warmth in against your body as thoroughly and as tenderly as if someone who loved you very much had tucked it there while you were already halfway to sleep. The wool smells faintly of cedar, of something old and clean, of every winter night that has ever existed in this part of the world, compressed into the fibers of this one dark blanket. The lamp above you is barely swaying now. The arc it traces across the ceiling has shortened to almost nothing. A small, gentle pulse of amber light, back and forth, so slow and so regular that it has become less a movement and more a breathing. As though the lamp itself is sleeping. As though this entire carriage, this entire train, this entire corridor of warm wooden world moving through the frozen Siberian night has begun to breathe together in one long, slow, shared rhythm. You feel it in your own chest. The rhythm, the slow, deep, unhurried rhythm of this night. It has moved inside you the way warmth moves, not all at once, not with any particular moment you can point to, but gradually, undeniably, until you realize it has been there for some time already and you simply did not notice because you were too busy arriving at it. Your eyes are heavy. Not the heavy of exhaustion, not the heavy of a long day pressing down on you with all its unfinished weight. This is a different kind of heavy, softer, warmer, like the blanket itself has found its way into your eyelids and is simply resting there, asking nothing, demanding nothing, simply present and warm and patient as snow. Taiga sleeps outside. Every tree, every frozen river, every animal standing in the dark between the pines, every buried root pressing down through the iron-hard permafrost toward some warmth it remembers from a season so long ago it has become more instinct than memory. The whole enormous, ancient, impossible wilderness of Siberia is asleep tonight under its white blanket, and the snow is still falling, and the silence beneath the snow is the deepest silence in the world. And you are part of it now. Not the cold part, not the dark part, not the part that howls and drives and makes the world sharp and dangerous and awake. You are the warm part. You are the amber lamp part. You are the wool blanket and the cooling tea glass and the frost pattern on the window and the soft, persistent hiss of the heater in the corner that has been burning steadily since Irkutsk and will go on burning long after you have stopped listening. You are perfectly warm inside. Safe from the cold, carried forward through the dark, held by the warmth of this small, amber world on wheels, moving through the sleeping taiga, through the soft falling snow, through the long and gentle night. Let your breath slow down now. There is no destination you need to reach. There is no arrival you need to prepare for. The train knows the way. The tracks are long and straight and disappear into a whiteness that has no edge and no end. And that is exactly as it should be. Simply let go. The snow continues to fall, and you are already there. Somewhere far behind you now, the lighthouse on Lake Baikal is still burning. Its small amber light is still sending itself out across the frozen water, patient and steady and entirely unhurried, the way all truly faithful things are unhurried. Nikolai is asleep beside his stove. The amber, wherever it rests, is sleeping in its cold and secret dark. And the taiga sleeps on. Tree by tree, river by frozen river, snowflake by falling snowflake, each one arriving softly and resting exactly where it lands, undisturbed, unbothered, perfectly placed by a world that has been arranging winter for longer than memory reaches. You are warm, you are safe, you are carried. Let the train rock you the rest of the way. Let the heater breathe for you. Let the snow fall and fall and fall outside your frosted window, covering everything in white. making everything quiet, making everything soft and clean and new. Sleep now. The cold cannot find you here.